Hi, I'm Doug Ross, editorial page editor at The Times, here with Kay Fleming, the Democratic candidate for State Attorney General. Welcome to the special edition of the NWI.com Political Roundtable.
Thank you, Doug.
Kay, why don't we get to the heart of the matter and say what sets you apart from your opponent in this race?
I have a varied background. I have worked for state government, federal government. I've been within a large law firm. I was the first attorney at the Indiana Gaming Commission, set up the agency, helped set up the agency, draft the rules, license riverboats, and now I've set up and manage my own firm. So I have a background that I will bring to the state attorney general's office, which to me is a large law firm. I have experience in a large law firm. I've managed a small law firm, and I will bring those experiences to the state. And my goal, if elected, or my mission, if elected, will be to ensure that decisions are made based on the protection of the Indiana citizens, the law itself, and not on a political agenda.
Okay. Can you give an example of what you mean about the political agenda?
In my opinion, there were some decisions made on taking on the defense of defunding Planned Parenthood legislation, as well as attacking the Affordable Health Care Act, that were based on more of politics than whether or not the law should have been defended and or challenged.
Okay. And then you mentioned consumer protection also. Why don't you speak to what you're thinking in that line?
The prosecutors around the state don't have the resources to go after all fraud cases. There have been some prosecutions of major fraud, which I applaud. It's been great. Greg Zoeller's been involved in those. He's done a wonderful job. But there are many citizens of Indiana that are affected by smaller fraud cases that there is no prosecution of. We all pay the price for that, from higher fees, higher interest rates, higher insurance. And if some of those are prosecuted and we can stamp some of that out, it would benefit the entire state. The prosecutors may not have the resources. The Attorney General's office can be invited in and can provide that assistance and those resources to local law enforcement.
Okay. Speaking of local law enforcement, what are they looking for from the Attorney General's office?
Well, I believe that they are looking for assistance when it comes to the sex offender registry. All 92 sheriffs are responsible for updating the sex offenders registry. They have to interpret laws. They right now do not have a strong state partner. If they need assistance with interpretation of the law, I would like to see the Attorney General become that strong state partner, provide that assistance, and make sure that our laws are also in compliance with federal laws. But first and foremost, that we have an accurate sex offender registry so people can look at it, have faith and confidence in it, that the people listed on there and their locations are in fact accurate and correct. It also benefits local law enforcement. Then they know where the people are and they can keep an eye on them and know what to look for and where to look for. As one sheriff said, if you know and they know you're watching them, they're less likely to do things than if you don't know where they are, because the sex offender registry is not accurate.
Okay, is this a case where you would, A, interpret the law, and B, trying to go through the legislative process to try to get the law improved?
Well, yes, the law right now makes DOC, Department of Corrections, the partner, and that is not working well. So I would advocate that that be changed, and it's my understanding the Sheriff's Association is also advocating that that be changed so that the Attorney General becomes the partner that assists with that interpretation of the law and provides the necessary resources. And if those are appealed, it's going to go to the Attorney General's office anyway, so having experts within the Attorney General's office that are committed to handling sex offender registry items makes sense.
Okay. Now, there's kind of like two choices in how you deploy the Deputy Attorney Generals. You can have them be specialists, or you could have them be regionalists. How would you evaluate which way you'd lean and so forth in that, in terms of how you'd actually deploy your staff?
If elected Attorney General, I am in favor and would have regional offices set up. My goal would be to find existing state offices so you're not renting new space, but have regional offices so that the deputy attorney generals know the area of the state and can provide the needed resources. The areas of the state are different. They have different needs. Methamphetamine's a problem in southwest Indiana. It's not as much of a problem here. Heroin is a bigger problem here. There are different needs of every area of the state, and having people, all deputy AGs located in Indianapolis, does not give them a feel for what resources are needed. So I advocate having deputy attorney generals in regional offices so they can provide the needed assistance and resources to help local law enforcement, because local law enforcement, local prosecutors may be stretched thin, may need that assistance, and that is what I'm hearing from many of the local officials that I've spoken with.
Okay, could you speak to how you would work with other kind of, what the Attorney General's relationship with other state offices ought to be?
If there are needs that are very similar, it's my understanding that Illinois also has a methamphetamine problem. So I do think that the Indiana Attorney General and the Illinois Attorney General, or whichever appropriate Attorney General, has similar problems. There should be collaborative efforts between the two, because here you're going to get people from Illinois coming across, people from Michigan coming in to Lake County and northwestern Indiana, Porter and LaPorte County. So you need to work with them to have consistent policies and try and address the issue, because people don't just stay within their own state. There are going to be people crossing state lines, and the more you can work together and be collaborative, the better.
Okay. You're running against an incumbent, Greg Zoeller. Can you speak to what he's done right as well as what he's done wrong in office?
Greg Zoeller's done a lot of things right. He's done an excellent job with the do not call list. He's done a good job with the tobacco litigation where he was involved with that. He's done a good job with some mortgage fraud investigations and lawsuits. So he's done a lot of things right. I just think there are other things that the Office of the Attorney General can do, and I think that the state's resources are limited as well, and the priority of the Attorney General resources needs to be restructured.
Okay. I hate to put you in the playground scenario of choose me. but seriously, why are you the better choice in this race, do you think?
I would be an independent Attorney General. I would not base decisions on political affiliation. I would have deputy AGs that are both Democrat, Republican, various walks of life, to provide that checks and balance, that decisions aren't being made on political party, but they are being made on what's right for the state. And look at the resources we have. For instance, look at outside counsel contracts. Make sure there's no conflict of interest. Make sure that there are fair market value contracts, and determine whether or not some of that caseload can be handled in-house rather than going to outside counsel.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you, Kay Fleming, for being our guest here on this special edition of the NWI.com Political Roundtable.